My husband and I wanted to go somewhere unique and beautiful for our honeymoon. We threw Iceland into the mix almost as a joke at first, but once we started looking at guidebooks, we knew we had to go. A travel piece with a spectacular online slideshow in the New York Times sealed the deal. We can't stop talking about our amazing 9-night, 10-day trip in mid-July. After we researched numerous Scandinavian touring companies, we settled with a group called Nordic Visitor, partly because the company is actually situated in Iceland, but mostly because the agent I dealt with was so helpful and sincerely proud of his country. We went with a self-drive package, which meant we told them what we wanted to see, which was driving the entire country along Route 1 or the Ring Road, and they booked hotels, rented a car for us, and mapped out an itinerary. We met with Jan, our agent, the day we arrived. He gave us all our maps and wished us well, but not without first imparting a few worthy pieces of advice, such as, watch out for the sheep. Sheep roam free in the wild the entire summer. If one wanders into the road, and many do, we, not the farmer, would be responsible for any damage done to the car. As Jan pointed out, there are 480,000 sheep in Iceland, and only 300,000 people. And there are 310,000 horses to help round up the sheep in the fall. So off we went, cautious of sheep. These are only a quarter of the photographs we took, but they offer a glimpse of the varied landscapes and natural wonders we saw. Iceland has the largest glaciers in Europe, and the coastline is dotted with more than 100 finger-like fjords and lush green valleys. There are 10,000 plus waterfalls. Some, such as Dettifoss and Godafoss, which you will see here, are popular tourist destinations. Many spectacles in Iceland, waterfalls included, come with both a geological and legend-based explanation. For example, Godafoss, or God's Falls, gets its name from an event that happened in the year 1000. That's when Iceland adopted Christianity, and a local chieftain threw all his pagan statues into the waterfall. But many of the waterfalls are random ones seen in the distance. It rains often in the summer and snows a lot in the winter. Combine that with glaciers, which feed meltwater into rivers in the summer, and you get many waterfalls. Not interested in waterfalls? Iceland has more hot springs than anywhere else in the world, in addition to steam vents and mud pools. The country is situated on the mid-Atlantic ridge and has 30 volcanoes that have erupted in the last 2 centuries. Natural hot water supplies much of the population with cheap, pollution-free heating. Rivers are harnessed to provide hydroelectric power. If this all sounds a little too technical and science-heavy for you, fear not. Yes, Iceland is the dream vacation spot for a geologist, but the sheer beauty is enough reason for anyone to go. While there, we did a lot of leisurely driving, hiking, and walking. We went whale watching and took a boat ride in a lagoon filled with icebergs from a receding glacier. Dog sledding, horseback riding, and glacier walks are just a few other things to do. Probably one of our favorite spots was the town of Vik on the south coast. We loved the beach and black sand formed from volcanic ash. It's the kind of place where you could just sit on a rock and watch the waves crash against the mist-draped cliffs for hours. We also visited a few geothermal outdoor pools, which were wonderful, and we checked out several museums. Everyone we encountered was friendly and spoke English either fluently or well. We wish we had the opportunity to get to know more Icelanders, since they seem to be interesting people. A casual sort who don't use titles like Mr. and Mrs. and call each other by their first names. And there are no family names, they use the patronymic system. If I were Icelandic, my name would be Don Dóttir, or daughter of Don. My brother's name would be Donamason, or son of Don. Women do not change their names in marriages. So an Icelandic family of a mother, father, son, and daughter actually has 4 different last names, and the phone book listings are organized by first name. The Icelandic language is very pure. Much like Latin is the source of many modern Romance languages, Icelandic is the base language of the Scandinavians. But while Swedish, Danish, and Norwegian have been influenced by other European languages, Iceland has remained virtually unchanged since the 13th century. It's difficult to say some of the most simple words, but it's a fascinating language to hear. So that's my summary of Iceland. I hope my slideshow and accompanying story convinces a few of you to visit. I promise you won't regret a trip to this island country. Thanks for listening and looking at my photos. This is Carrie MacMillan, features writer for the Republican American.